Ladies and gentlemen, our keynote speaker for the keynote session, Digital Transformation in Social Sector Projects Touching Humanity with Innovation, which is brought to you by PMI. The speaker is Mr. Sumit Kumar Sinha, and I take this privilege to introduce him before I invite him onto the dais. Mr. Sumit Kumar Sinha is the President PMI West Bengal chapter. He's the head project management competency function, Ericsson Global Services India Private Limited. Mr. Sinha is a delivery leader with 25 years of total experience in all phases of the software development lifecycle, including 18 years in leadership roles in software delivery and consulting projects that involve project planning, managing tasks, managing the project team, interfacing with clients, users, and vendor organizations. He has implemented business and process measurements to sustain the organization's process capabilities, thereby improving the use of the processes based on performance measurements and assessments. He has demonstrated experience providing leadership to a corporate IT practice operating under cost, quality, and time constraints. He regularly coaches and mentors senior project management professionals from various industries as a give back to the project management community. Before I invite Mr. Sinha onto the stage, may I request all present here, delegates, ladies and gentlemen, may I request all of you to kindly take your seats, please. The gentleman on my left, the gentleman in the middle, and some of the gentlemen waiting here, may I request you to kindly take your seats, please. We're about to start off with this very interesting session. I'm now going to invite Mr. Sumit Kumar Sinha, and I want to request everyone to put your hands together as I invite him onto the stage. Mr. Sumit Kumar Sinha, President PMI West Bengal Chapter. A very warm welcome to you, sir.
Thank you. Is my mic working?
It's working, sir.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Welcome you all to my session, Digital Transformation in Social Sector Projects and How it is touching the humanity with innovation. Since yesterday, we have been listening to our eminent speakers, have been talking a lot and with rich content, how humanity or human touch has been impacted or is helping our digital transformation journey. And I would like to take you through some roadmap and storyline how we, from the PMI West Bengal chapter, have been evangelizing the social sectors. A quick recap, our previous things, what we have seen and in our journey. So objective of the digital transformation, we all know, had been to improve our efficiency. We have enhanced the customer value. We have managed our very critical risks. And we have enhanced the business growth. We have achieved the eminence in the processes, products, and assets. And the benefits we have seen in various industries like power, manufacturing, robotics, and automation. It is nothing new. So, what is the end result? The end result of this technology boom is, first is the business model modifications. We have come up with a big area of business model growth. And the next one, how we are doing our business. And this is all a part of a radical change, moving from stage by stage all across. And we have seen that. The path-breaking success we have seen happening in the industry telecom, and which has helped in launching of our satellites, Mangalyaan as well. We have seen how it has helped our retail, marketing. We have seen how it has helped in IoT and AI, and in airspace and in bullet trains. We have seen that, nothing new. But is this the end of the world? The question is there, and this is where we have started the entire conference right from yesterday. The answer is no. Have we ever been reaching to the grassroots level? The answer is no. In our very near vicinity, we have seen there are still a lot of hazards, still a lot of questions being answered to the fishermen in the Sundarbans area, and there are people all across. We have seen that we are still not enough matured to get them the right privilege to the mental retarded people who are in the hospitals. We have not yet gone to the extent where we have provided enough infrastructural support to the rug pickers and visually impaired. We have seen we can do a lot of improvement in the slum areas and in the pet care. These are the areas, few areas where we still see there is a lot of potential that we as a human, we can go and bring a lot of human touch. So how deep is the impact? How deep is the impact of a digital wave still now? We have not yet reached to the grassroots. We described that. And we have to improve the life of need and underprivileged sector of society. This is the starting point of our organization and where we have started working and we have a success. And I'll tell you the success stories as well. For this, what we need innovation. And we have applied these innovative thoughts in our ventures. Now, the success stories. What are the success stories till now we have? Is it enough? Is it continuing? The journey has begun. So we have seen that. It is nothing new. We have seen that we have been able to capture the movement of the animals or the wildlife into the train tracks areas which are vulnerable to their lives. We have seen that, and to some extent, we have been able to give them some kind of life support. This is another very interesting application that I believe the government of Chhattisgarh has come up with, and they have even applied with the people with the hearing problems. They can even go for 10th grade education and writing the test for 10th grade with this kind of application in the mobile. And in the last session, probably we have heard from Ben that the most important aspect of US youth is the smartphones and the data. Probably this is one example that we are seeing here. Long way to go. A long way to go for us in the social sector to penetrate. But this is, again, one of the aspects of the journey which we have seen it's in our way. We have seen this happening. What? Yesterday, I remember I've seen one speaker talking about the radiotherapy. And even I have heard him saying that we need to pinpoint. We need to focus on to the right area of the tumor for the diagnosis, meaning that we have, as a human, to be very careful, specialized in controlling the equipments, medical equipment, sophisticated equipments. And this is something that we have to upskill our youths to going forward, handle this kind of sophisticated instruments to give the benefits to the humanity. And today also, I believe we have all seen that in our last presentation, where we have seen the technology and the culture. It's a cyclical process, and this is one area of the example which is already started happening, and we are working with them. There is another area of work still unnurtured, and we can do a lot. As an organization, as an NGO, we can do a lot, where we would like to reach to the needy people, including the IoT, which is coming up very soon. So we can do a lot of work. There are a lot of areas that can be done in this area. Little bit background of where we were and where is our journey going to be. We have been doing our technological advancements through these phases of life cycle phases of the project management. That is, we had handled the predictive model. We know what is the iterative and the benefits. Till the agile, we have even, when we're not even satisfied, we went to the hybrid solutions as well. We were not satisfied. And now we are looking for a very, very specific and a niche area, which is our next practice. Probably this is going to shape up very soon with our joint-handed efforts. From PMI, this is the framework, I would say, for the project management. Many of us probably have seen this, and this is a very brilliant framework. They call it a talent triangle. In this talent triangle, definitely there are 3 arms, and one is technical project management, strategic business management, and the leadership. The beauty of the triangle, let me ask, rather, I have been keeping asking me the questions all across, is the triangle stable? The answer is no. The triangle is not yet stable. The reason behind the technical project management, it has gone to its extreme of technical advancement through all lot of technical roadmap and the success that we have seen. The strategic business, yes, we have developed a lot of business processes in between as we went on and developed as we kept on maturing in our technical process, because it goes hand by hand. So we have matured in our business processes. We have seen the growth of these two happening very fast. The next is the leadership. And there is the entire question boils down to, are we successful? Are we able to reach out to the lowest level of our fundamental leadership traits? The answer is no. Probably the answer was yes before, and as on today's scenario on the landscape, the answer is no. We have to revisit, relook, redefine, and exploit. What is this about? I need to just a little bit ponder about this thought. This is where we are in now. We need to stop at some point in time from our digital transformation, because it can't give the solution to the entire landscape of our problems. We must need a human interaction, and where we are able to, rather we have started thinking in the direction, and that is where I started telling you that leadership is something new that we have to think, and this is where the success is lying. Just to make our understanding a little bit clear, this is our ground, this is our fundamental foundation to fit in the particular strategy. And PMI talks about 3 things, very simple. One is strategic focus. Yes, we are strategic focus, and that is the reason we are able to meet to the customer and give them the right approach and the right tools that they want. And customer centricity is all about, and organizational agility, meaning that data now. We cannot even wait for a single minute. So agility has brought this change of data now, and that is the reason it has been answering all the questions from using the technologies of big data and IoTs and all of this. So we have this particular thing as well as ready. Now what is missing? So this is missing. In the social sector projects, probably we are not even capable enough to understand and manage the risk with the aspect that we have talked about, this agility. We are not there. So we have to be a little bit faster in responding, identifying a risk, and managing a risk. This is one of the areas that is where we are still looking, and what we need for that. We need to motivate the stakeholders. Because risk is not one person's property. It comes from the customer side, it goes to the other side for resolution. So we definitely need a stakeholder interaction and knowledge. So stakeholder must be made properly knowledgeable. So proper education has even to be given to them. This is missing. And we need to create the technology-driven innovation with the project deliverables. When we talk about the project deliverables, are we doing our primitive way of doing it? No. We are definitely looking into the aspects of agile and other advancement of technology, which brings us much more productive. We are looking into it. Now, what we need. This is where it is very, very important for all of us to ponder, and I would suggest that if you have any question after this, beyond this discussion, please meet us. Collaborative leadership. This is a bigger change that we are looking at now. And in this collaborative leadership, it talks about leadership is not encapsulated within four walls of the glass, where we have been seeing for ages the big bosses, the steering committee are sitting inside the glass room, and their information is getting, instructions are getting passed on to the other people, and they have to do. The landscape is changing. It is not one-sided. We need the entire team to decide. We must need to empower our people for their ideas and reality. One quick thought example, as you may say, I can talk about it. I read somewhere from Steve Jobs. In one of his interviews, he said, we recruit people not to tell them what we want from them, rather what they want us to do to make the organization much better. And that is the reason the Apple has gone to that extent. Very, very clear. So it is ultimately coming down to the people who will shape the organization and the thought going forward by bringing it to the reality. How can we do it? How can we enable? We understand the fact that, yes, we have to be collaborative, we have to go together, we have to do a lot of things. But what is needed? Very, very key and fundamental. And this is where PMI stands in a greater way. We are doing it. It is servant leadership. What exactly we mean by servant leadership? To be a leader, we first be a servant directly in front of our customers or whoever it is. And I believe we remember yesterday there was a slide being shown with Amazon being an example. Even Amazon has made them responsible if the internet of any personal buyer or whoever it is not working. How can they be responsible if the internet of the person is not working? Even they have picked it up. So they became the servant and saying, give you my problem, I'll give you a solution. Let us start together, thinking all together. So I am your servant. And it is nothing new. As far as the Indian concepts are there, we have seen Gandhiji in South Africa when Satyagraha was going on. He had been always playing the role of a servant. He stayed with the poor. Why? Because the intent was to understand the philosophy and the pain, mainly the pain area of the poor, to get within himself in the nerves, and then only he can start thinking his team. The entire nation can start thinking in a similar way. So this idea, first of all, is nothing new. It's really a old wine in a new bottle. We have it within our own culture, but we have to be a little bit conscious. Once we start doing things consciously, we will be here. Very, very important for collaborative leadership is that we need to know how we should care the people, not to tell them what we know. We have to change our colors from changing our position from saying what I know or my way is the highway. No, our way is a highway. I've seen one more slide in some forum, some symposium. It talks about, I'm not remembering the exact lines, it talks about if we want to move fast, go alone. If we have to move far, go together. So we can never approach our journey, far-reaching journey, alone. We must have our team or society to be with us to make the journey successful. And what we achieve. What we achieve as a team, we have to make everybody vocal. We cannot make them robots ourselves. We cannot ask them, echo me to your organization, to your community, what I say. No, you talk about your things. And this is exactly what we have been franchising and experimented this in few NGOs, and we have been successful in those sorts. I'll come to that point. But this is the ultimate result of our entire environment of servant leadership, that be a voice. We come to the offerings from the chapter, PMI West Bengal chapter, which is a voluntary organization. And this is where our true transformational journey in the social sector is given in a nutshell. So we have been connected with some NGOs, and we have been working with them for the success of their ventures. First one, what we understood from them that we need innovation. And we started educating them with the servant leadership approach, how they can become much more expert, not we. They have to meet their customers, and in an innovative way, they became the expert, and today they are one of the pioneers. They're doing a lot of work. I'll come back to the work very soon. What has changed? And what were the game changers for us, for them? So we all know, nothing new. The traditional way of doing a project management and managing a risk are 4. We all know there is a very, very simple way of managing a risk which we have been doing. But the entire landscape has changed with this. We have stopped using the traditional way of managing a risk. I'm just touching one point of the project management, and we have gone through the other way, that is think, innovate, apply, and learn. Now, a little bit about quick view of the case study that we have, which I mentioned. This is the NGO that we have been working for almost 2 years. And quick thing about it, this NGO is in touch with a mental hospital. What they have done, they went there, they studied, and they found out few observations. It is really, really touching our hearts. In the mental hospital, the patients, after they get cured, are never been, rather, in some cases, they were never taken back. The society rejects. And they even come back with some other mental tension which they have, okay? So, the picture in the left, which talks about a very broken house, shabby house, this is the area where their clothes were getting, cleaned up in a cycle of 4 months. So a mental patient is getting his or her clothes, cleaned clothes after 4 months, which is another area of stress, and adding on top of it the agony that they already have. Doctors were finding very difficult to cure them. Now what this person has to, and at the same time, they're distressed and nobody is going to take them out to the homes. This person came as an NGO and they offered, we jointly worked together, they offered that fine, we will create a modern cleaning room or area which they named as Dhobighar. And it has all the modern amenities of the washing machines and other stuff. And who are doing this job for the cleaning? It is a patient who are getting cured from the particular hospital. They come, they do their work for their colleagues, and they're getting paid. Now, as per the government and rules, it was suggested that the entire money, because they just came out of their mental agony, they might lose the money, they might distress the money. So what they have done, the hospital itself, taken the money, and they're paid. Everybody is paid. Taken the money, half the money goes to their bank account. They have opened their bank account, and half the money goes in the hand for their regular expenditures. That way they have been maintaining themselves. As I said, this kind of thing relapses, and they are again taken back to the hospital. Now they are affluent. They have their own money to go back to the hospital, and they can spend it. Not only this particular engagement has speed up their work, technology, IoT, whatever you can say that, okay? Now, they are even getting some outsourcing work from some other hospitals and they're earning money, let's say from 20 rupees an hour, let's say, I'm just hypothetically saying, to 100 rupees an hour, 200 rupees an hour. This is again generating some revenue for them. They are affluent, they have some social status, and they can get recognized with their own work. This is the area, one of the area that we have been working, and we have been successful, and it is a great success for us. Social touch, social bearing, everything with human being and machines both standing together. This is indeed a great work, not only by me. I'm the only one small pie in the entire landscape. I have 10 people with me who have been working diligently for this kind of works. They are all here for, say, in this particular room, okay? Now, before I end, last slide, what we need, where should we conclude? We are all thinking, machines are attacking us. Machines are taking our jobs. Machine will be disrupting us, yes? But that is not the end of the life. We have a lot of work to do in the social sector, doing the CSR kind of engagements. And if we start looking into it, there is no end to it. There are plenty of opportunities still unnurtured, unseen, and we can, as a team, as a person, as a thought, as a leaders, we can start working a lot of things in this particular area of work. I think with this, I'm limited with time, and thank you so much for being with me.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sumit Kumar Sinha. That was a very interesting presentation. I would now like to request, sir, may I ask you to step to the middle of the stage? May I request Mr. K.K. Mahapatra, Organizing Secretary and Head INFOCOM ABB Private Limited, to kindly come forward and present a memento to Mr. Sinha. Sir, to the middle. They want to take a photograph with you. Thank you very much.